Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Rick here. How's it going this fine and glorious June 14th?
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning. All right. So you guys saw my advertisement, right? This is going to be a Q&A session on today's market. You guys are the Q. I'm the A. That didn't sound right, but you know what I mean, right?
Rick.
Right?
Oh, no.
Yes. Be careful, Amanda. I haven't muted you yet.
I know. Happy Monday. I hope that everybody brings really powerful questions.
Yes. All right, hold on one second here, folks. All right, everybody. Okay, so it is 8 a.m. Oh, it's actually 8:02 on June 14th, which is, think about this. In 2 weeks, you're halfway through the year. Woo! Hopefully you're excited about that. I know it's flying, right? You know, all three states are up, even California. And California opens up 100% tomorrow, allegedly, supposedly, maybe. No, I guess, but if you're a real estate agent, you're at full tilt. You can do open houses. You can door knock. I was just on the phone with one of our dynamite agents, Omar Gafar, and he told me he's out door knocking, getting well received, which I think is great. And think about it. Why? I mean, you're going out and you're door knocking in someone's neighborhood that you haven't done it in a while. Whether you're in, especially California, because they've been locked down the longest. And what you're, a couple things. Number one, the real estate market's incredible. People who own houses kind of like to hear about that. Secondly, you're reminding them that it's getting back to normal, or at least somewhat normal. I hate that new normal. The hell does that mean? But anyway, whatever normal is going to be, all right, because it's always changing. All right, and so that's good. And you're out there and you're telling the world, what's going on. And I think the grassroots thing is always an incredible way to do it. All right, so what do we know? And then remember, guys, you got to hit *6 in order for me to hear you. But hold on a second. *6 means you've unmuted yourself. So if you've done that, remember, make sure you remute your own phone after, or at least be in a really quiet area. All right, so what do we know about this market? Okay, we know about this market that it's an incredible seller's market right now. We know the inventory hasn't been this low in Galvar, or LVR now. I like the old name better. It sounds cooler. Galvar. LVR now. LVR is Las Vegas Area Realtors. Never been inventory this low. I think Phoenix is pretty close, and I think in California it's never been this low in 20 years. So at least in 20 years or so, inventory's never been this low. Now, does that mean there's no inventory? No. It means that the inventory that's coming on is going quickly, and that's what's happening in all markets. So there's more homes that have come on the market this year at this time than last year this time. So if you're one of those people telling yourself there's no inventory, that's not true. It's just all under contract, all right, and appreciating. So your buyers really have to be aware of what's going on. So we know it's an incredible market, so we have to be, we have to keep the sellers realistic, because one of the things that's happening in today's market is people are overpricing it. You get more than it's worth. Like I was just on the phone with Tim Dunn from Las Vegas, I'm going to give you ballpark numbers. $350,000 property sold for $385,000. That's normal, but they weren't asking $385,000. That's why they got that. They were asking $350,000. See the difference? People go, well, I'm going to add that on top. No, that's not how you turn. They got 40-something offers on the property. He goes, yeah, I had to put together a spreadsheet to present this thing. That's crazy, right? So all good stuff, and you have to prepare your buyers and sellers, okay, for what's about to come. Otherwise, they'll get turned off. I was on the phone last week with one of our great agents from the same office is Omar, Jackie, and she said, Rick talked me off the ledge, which I've never heard her say before. And I said, why? What's the matter? I've had 3 buyers I'm not used to getting my contracts not accepted. And I've had 3 buyers, and one of them said to me, that's it. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to take a 6-month, a year break, rent. And she goes, what would you have said to him? I go, well, if you're going to take a break and you're going to rent a property, get a 3-year lease. What? You tell him that? I go, yeah, because that's the truth, I think. Because, rents are going to continue to go up, all right, but so is property value, and the interest rates are incredible. And so I don't think, I think what I would have, and I would have added this to that. If we just keep going through the frustration, in a year from now when you look back, you'll be really glad you did this. All right, now, and Stan Abrams from on the same call, by the way, Stan Abrams said to me, I had somebody I am so glad we did this 6 months, a year ago, sold and bought, because look at the craziness going on right now. Craziness is not going away. It's not going to last. Oh, maybe after summer. No, look at the reasons why it's happening. People are back to work, most of them. Some of them are at home getting paid more, but they'll have to go back to work soon too. So the economy's cranking, interest rates are low, and we have a supply and demand issue, folks. That's what's going on right now. Supply and demand. There's way more demand than supply. That's why diamonds are so expensive. All right. So, unlike the last two crazes that I've been doing this 36 years, other than the last two crazes, which are every time a market is like this, builders overdevelop and build. And so that's not happening now. And it didn't happen since the last craze. So that's why when you have the largest group of people, millennials, all deciding it's a great time to buy pretty much at the same time. All right. And baby boomers downsizing, and, they're competing sometimes for the same property. And so you've got a tremendous amount of buyers, and only half of them are selling. You see the math there? That's why we have a supply and demand issue right now. It's not just a killer wave, because every time we've had an incredible market before, at least since I've been doing this for 36 years, there's always been plenty of inventory. This time, it's inventory that's driving it even crazier. Okay, so now that we know all those factors, does anybody have any questions about that, what I just went through? *6. *6, ask me a question. Don't be afraid. I don't bite hard. No, I'm kidding. Any questions you may have about anything going on with the real estate market? Hit *6 so I can hear you. Fortunately, because I planned for this.
Hey, Rick.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, Rick.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Eric Harold.
Hey, Eric.
I got my first listing, but it's a new construction listing. I feel like I might have overpriced it, like that mistake that you were just talking about. Where should I go now that I've already done that?
Okay. How long has it been on the market now?
It's only coming soon. It's a coming soon listing right now.
Okay, then don't even list it at that number.
Okay.
So look, what's it worth? Honestly, what do the comps say right now?
Probably like 400 over 420, something like that.
Okay, and what's the price at?
470.
Okay. So what you tell them is, we gave everybody a sneak peek at 470. That didn't work. Okay, so what we want to do is, in order for us to here's what you have to tell them. In order for us to get more than the property is worth, it can't be our decision, seller or agent of the seller. It has to be the buyer's decision. The only way to get the buyers to turn into a feeding frenzy, to have them compete, which is really why they go over, we have to have a number of people become emotionally attached to the property. In order for them to be emotionally attached to the property, it has to look like a good deal. At 470, we've already added all the fudge on top, so you eliminate, 60-70% of the buyers because they won't allow themselves to get emotionally attached to the property because you're already way overpriced. Now, is it possible if you price it at $419.9, let's say, right? You gave me 4 to 420. Even if it's at 4, is it possible we'll get 470? Yeah, it is.
Right.
It is. But you're not going to get over what it's worth by starting over what it's worth. Now, I know every one of you is probably thinking of an example. Well, I know somebody that did that. Yeah, that's one person, but I'm talking about if I was talking to my sellers today, if I was selling one of my own properties today, that's what I would be doing. You'll get a lot more by starting at a more aggressive price and let them fight over it and decide how much over asking. Because you know what happens when all of a sudden oh my God, I'm one of 14 offers. Whoa. All of a sudden you have to have it even more. If you're at coming soon And which state are you in? Arizona?
California.
You're in California. Okay. So California, you're coming soon where there basically is no inventory that's active, right? It's all under contract. And you have no bites. That's probably a problem, yeah.
I just listed it yesterday, and I did get one bite today, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I if it goes a week without anything, I would have that conversation with them.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was just yesterday. I thought you had it on for a little while and coming soon. But, give it a couple of days. But, but once again, if you know it's 420, now, but here's the real lesson here, Eric. Next time this happens, explain it to them this way. Because the agent who doesn't know better or the lazy ones that charge no commission, that's what they do to get the listings. I'll take almost nothing, and we can add this on top. Okay, that's not the best way to do it today.
Yeah, I think I was anxious because it was my first opportunity to get a listing.
That's okay. But, give it a few days and say, look at this. I talked, and I used to always blame my broker when I was newer. I talked to my broker, and he said, and then just say what I said.
Okay.
If we started a little bit, if we start a little bit more aggressive, or she, depending on which office you're with, which office you're in, because if you're which office are you in?
Lake Elsinore, Carroll.
Oh, Carroll, yeah. Okay, so and it's impossible to get mad at Carroll, right? Once you talk to her.
Right.
So I was talking to my broker, Carol, and she said that, if we start a little bit more aggressive, then people get more excited and we have more people looking, and we're coming soon. Now, if you get lucky and, somebody comes in and is going to pay $470, tell them to take it.
Right. Okay.
Right. But Lake Elsinore, you guys are crazy there, but it's not like Orange County or San Diego. So, even though you're very close to San Diego, I think that it'll be a good test to see what happens, but I wouldn't allow it to go too long is my point.
Okay.
So Eric, that's a great question, and inside the question, I can think of three quick lessons we should talk about. Number one is commission cutters, don't net them more money, and so watch. Commission cutters do not net agents more money. Now, in your office, Eric, we ran the numbers, and a typical commission cutting company was netting people about 98% asking to list price. So that sounds okay. Well, they're getting 98, but your office is getting like 103 or 104. I couldn't remember what it was off the top of my head, but still, there's a big difference between 98 and even 103. It's a 5% difference, right? So if they're charging a percent less, you're still netting them more money. So when you go talk to them, you share with them numbers. And I know one office over in Temecula, they were at like 107%. One of the offices in Arizona I had run this was at 113%. So every office is going to be, but there's always a difference between the commission cutters and us, full service, best brand on the plan. Okay, so that's number one lesson in there when you're up against a commission cutter. The typical ploy of a commission cutter or their plan is, I'll do it for less and we can ask more. And then you share with them what I just shared with you about the problem with overpricing is you don't get more. You end up having, if you have to, look at folks, everybody listen to me with this. If you have to reduce a price in today's market, you have done your seller a tremendous injustice. Okay, so for you, Eric, that doesn't count because you're coming soon. I'm talking about once it goes full tilt in the MLS, you shouldn't have to reduce that price. You should go in at a price that causes it to sell. That's what you should do.
Okay.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
All right, good. All right, and what was the third? I had another one in there, commission cutting and blah, blah, blah. I can't remember now, but I'm sure there's another lesson in there but that's the whole thing today. I'm up against a commission cutter. I'm going to show them the facts. I'm going to tell them the facts, and I'm going to tell them usually that's why in a several-step, this is the third one, in a several-step process, this person has already made two major mistakes. And the property isn't even on the market yet. How many more can you afford and expect to get top dollar? Right? So that's the presentation I would have in today's market. All right, Eric. If you don't mind remuting your phone, because I can tell you're in your car. It's a little noisy. That'd be great, my man. Thank you. All right. Any other questions? That was a great question, Eric. Thank you. Any other question of anything going on today that I can help you guys with?
Hey, Rick, it's Laura from Orange County. Hey, Rick, it's Laura from Orange. Hey, I went door knocking on Friday. Yay, first time.
Nice job.
I'm getting that same question from everybody. Yeah, we would sell. We want a bigger house or we want to downsize. But where are we going to go? There's nothing out there. How do you answer? How do you respond to that? That's a tough one.
That's a great question. Okay. So I would say, well, if everything were, if it was a perfect world and you could go anywhere, where would you go? Like what neighborhood would you want? What, and then I would go knock those neighborhoods. Hey, I have this person who would love to buy in this neighborhood, right? And then you go, and if they need to sell the house, some of them are going to have that question, where would I go? So we can solve that by you just telling me, and I'll go find it for you. That's one way. Check the FSBOs too, by the way. And another way is use Apex. Apex comes in, buys the property, let them take their equity out, go buy the property, and then if they sell for more, if and when they do, if they have to even do any improvements, and then they sell for more and give you the difference back. It's a home run deal, guys, if you haven't looked into Apex. So those would be the two ways I would handle that. I love when they have a story too, like you go door knocking and you find somebody who's willing to sell their house, and then you negotiate a price. That's a pretty good gig. I mean, it ends up being your listing, your sale. Right. Unless you get somebody who's super savvy who says, no, well, we'll pay you one side of the commission. People are, that's fine. That's fine.
Right.
So see, a lot of people say that because it's like a conversation piece. But where would we go? I don't know. Where would you like to go? What would be, like, if you were going to move, where would you move right now? Well, we're not really moving because we never even thought. Well, because sometimes that's just a conversation or a reflex no, right? But other times, well, if we could move over to this neighborhood and there was something available and we could sell our house and we knew, okay, right? That's a whole different story. So then this is what I would do. I would have, so I'm going to have my lender talk to you. I'm going to have him give you a call. No, so I'm going to just start walking through the process. And if they're interested, well, let's just find out what it would cost you. I can give him an idea of what the property would cost, where you want to go. I can give him an idea of what this would sell for. There's going to be a difference. You're going to have a down payment, right? You start walking down the process with them. If they get excited about it, well, then you have somebody. If they push back, well, everybody says, I shouldn't say everybody. A lot of people say, well, if I could sell and I knew I could buy something, well, in a crazy market like this, but they don't really actually want to do it. So it's a talking piece. So start acting as if, see how they act to it. Does that make sense?
I love that strategy. Yeah, I love that strategy. Thank you. I honestly hadn't thought of that, and I really like that. So thank you.
Yeah. It reminds me of, anyway, there's so many, I can give you so many examples, but I won't bore you guys with examples. But yeah, that is, I talk to everybody that brings up real estate or whatever as if they want to do something until they tell me, oh, hey, I'm sorry. I thought you were, you said that, if you could buy and you could sell. So I just wanted to give you all the information. But when you're ready, keep me in mind. And I'll still get their email address and all that stuff. And think about this. Now I have a neighborhood where I could get a listing. And I'm going to a neighborhood where I could get another listing and have a sale already. That's a home run if I can put that together. That's why FSBOs are so important right now, folks. You should be working them all the time. All right? So I think that's an incredible way to do business today. And guys, remember now, okay? So, you used to always hear, well, if they don't have to sell, almost nobody that you're working with now has to sell. This is a market of, I want to move. I've always wanted to be in this neighborhood. I've got so much equity in my property. This is I want to move. So you have to be prepared for that. People that are serious will go through the process or at least be educated about doing it, and people that are just kicking the tires won't. Nothing wrong with a tire kicker, right? I have no problem with them. I want to talk to everybody. I just talk to everybody. Remember, the whole idea about prospecting is talk to everybody like you know them, okay, and find out the whole story. Always find out the whole story. All right. Awesome questions, the two of you. Thank you very much, Laura. Thank you very much, Eric. Okay, anybody else have a question for me? Don't be shy. If you're thinking it, I'm sure somebody else is too. Nobody else? Come on. All right. So what's another question that maybe you should be thinking of? Okay, I'm so glad you asked that. Me? All right, so what is the question you should be thinking of? Here it is. How do I thrive in a market like this? All right, I think I've already given you, and that'd be my question. You're a real estate agent, guys. You're a solo entrepreneur. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself with this company. All right, so use all the resources you have. You have incredible tools. Apex, an incredible tool. You have the VAC 2.0 with all the newsletters and the market reports and the neighborhood reports. Use them. You have the best brand on the planet. All right, we as a company, I've in every office I've checked so far, we net people more money than people who charge less commission. Everybody needs to know that when you're talking to them. Also, if I'm on a listing appointment, I'm assuming everybody is talking to a commission cutter right now. I bring it up even if they don't. Unless they're signing a contract, right then, I'm going to be bringing it up and say, hey, listen, by the way, and I handle that objection before it even comes up. Makes you look smart, by the way. Okay, so how do I thrive? All right, well, you heard Laura mention one of them. Go out and door knock people. This is the best. We've just come out of a pandemic. I've been selling real estate for 36 years. Pandemic was a new thing. By the way, in the last year and a half, I've said that's a first more than I have probably in the first 36 years of being in this business. That's a first. Okay, and I could bore you with every one of them, but I won't. This market has been a little different, but ultimately, the way to thrive in it has not changed. I just think some of them are going to work even better, like door knocking. Think about this. You're going door knocking post-pandemic where they haven't seen anybody in a while. You're reminding them that things are getting back to normal. So even the people that would be cranky once in a while probably are less cranky. And who cares? You're not looking for cranky people. You're looking for sellers. You just have to, cranky people, indifferent people, people that ignore you, they're all part of the process. They're all necessary. It's not even rejection. It's just that they don't need you right now. Why do we take it so personally? Okay? All right, so that's number one. You have to get out there. Door knocking is an incredible way to do it. You're going post-pandemic where they haven't seen anybody, and you're going in most markets, their property is appreciated at least 1.5 points, if not 2 points, a month for the last few months. How can they dislike you? They're like a stockbroker going around talking to people when the market's up. Incredible. They love to talk to you when the market's up. Okay, so you got all that going on, and you've got interest rates that are historically the best ever since real estate has started. See, you have so much to talk about that's positive. The economy's cranking again. The job, the unemployment rate is going down, 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 right? People are out doing stuff. I mean, I was in the airport 2 weeks ago. It was busy. Las Vegas, crazy busy. Phoenix, crazy busy. People, the prices of flights are back up for a lot of cases. I mean, everything is getting back to normal, all right, as much as possible, and it's going to continue to go that way. But I still think we have some aha growth in there. Like once it's back pumping at 100%, I still think that's going to affect everything positively as well. Think about this. Last year, we had 2.5 months, especially the first 2 months of the pandemic, that no one knew exactly what was going to happen. The real estate market was reduced by at least 30, 40%. And then by July, or right about now, it started cranking right back into gear. And July was incredible. August was incredible. So we had a pandemic, every reason possible. unemployment, crazy, 13%, whatever it was, for a market to tank, and it didn't. Okay, I've never seen that before. Never seen a pandemic before. Never seen a market kick back into gear so fast after giving every indication that it could be in the tank. Never saw that before. Okay, so you add all those stuff together, and now we have a year of things are going to be more consistent, and people are working, and all. I mean, and people are actually saying to me like, "Oh yeah, well, this market's we're in a bubble." And you don't even hear people talking about that anymore. Or, "Oh yeah, there's going to be a whole bunch more foreclosures." Yeah, where? Show me where. Okay, that hasn't happened either. The people that took advantage of not paying, that hadn't owned their houses long enough, have all sold them, or they're on the market, or people have started paying again. Okay, so that hasn't happened, even though people said that's going to happen. I love when these so-called experts tell you what's going to happen. It's like, well, yeah, show me why that's going to happen. Well, they really can't. So, I haven't been able to find, a negative anything as far as this market goes. It's going to be pretty credible for a while. So you got to be prepared for it. You got to have momentum. You got to have a pipeline of listings. Okay, you got to be talking to people. Don't tell yourself there's no inventory. There's plenty of inventory. It's just all under contract. Okay, more homes have come on the market this year than last year this time. So don't buy into that negative thinking. It's just not true. All right? All right, any final thoughts or any final questions? So once again, get out there, talk to people on the phone, face-to-face, however you want to do it. Crank up your social media. Social media is a tremendous way to do business. Ultimately, the math hasn't changed. You got to have X amount of conversations per day. Energy, enthusiasm is what sells you to people today. Because what you're just looking for people that are going to do something now or in the near future. Okay, you can't make people do anything. Well, how can I give them a little push to move? Why would you ever want to do that? It's so transparent, by the way. Well, I know you love your house, but that really doesn't mean anything to me unless you really want to sell it. Well, they either do or they don't. Nothing you say is going to change a seller's market, whether they're going to sell or not. Your job is to get them to use you if they're selling. That's your job. All right, folks? We will do this again in exactly 1 week. You guys are the best. Okay, go out and kill it, all right? Have some fun, too. Talk to you guys soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Rick.